From ReminderMedia, this is Stay Paid, a sales and marketing podcast on a mission to help you close more deals and retain more business. Hosted by the VP of Marketing, Josh Stake, and ReminderMedia's president, Luke Acree. So get ready to hear the golden nuggets that will allow you to live a life of freedom tomorrow, but only if you take action today.
Welcome to another Silver Dollar episode of Stay Paid, the best sales and marketing tips of your week in 15 minutes or less, Luke. Man,
it's great to be here.
It's great to be here. It's fantastic to be here. A little behind the scenes action. The last podcast we didn't record.
Yep.
So we're going to re-record that one. But we took a break.
It's one of the worst. Like in my history, I thought I was going to be a musician. And so I did a lot of recordings and stuff. And there's nothing worse than feeling like you hit and nailed a part and it didn't record.
We also have our newest Stay Paid pal here in the studio. If you watch one of our last Silver Dollars,
you're going to see a dog.
You'll see Dakota. Across. She's going to be hanging out with us here for this episode. But no, today we're going to be talking about the power of direct mail. With so many new ways to connect to consumers today, you got social media, you got email marketing, you've got search engine optimization, text messaging. It's easy to forget or worse, disregard the tried and true tested marketing method that still yields massive results, which is direct mail. With 40% of Americans across all ages still looking forward to checking their mailbox.
How crazy is that?
How many people look forward to checking your email inbox?
Yeah.
No, you dread having to check your email inbox. 40%.
You get so many.
40% of Americans still look forward to checking their mailbox. It continues to be one of the most effective ways of prospecting new clients and building relationships with existing ones. So we're going to go through just some things for what your direct mail, from what we've learned over mailing
100
million pieces of direct mail in our history.
I'll say that again. Like we've sent out 100 million pieces of direct mail.
Or our organization, ReminderMedia, has.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah. So what we've learned,
and everybody tells me Print's dead, and I'm tired of people telling me Print's dead. Print is not dead. You're dead. No,
you're dead. No, what's the Grant Cardone? Print.
Yeah.
Print
cold calling's not
suck.
dead. Yeah, you suck. Cold calling's not dead.
But no, taking everything that we've learned through our own direct mail, and then with almost 100,000 clients we've had send out.
Well, one of the keys with direct mail, if I'll just say, because people joke all the time about print being dead. It's not dead. Here's the thing: is no one marketing channel is going to drive all of your leads for you, right? So you need a holistic approach. We'll talk about that a little bit. But one of the things with direct mail is the average person is receiving how many emails a day?
It's the average office worker receives 150 emails a day.
So a lot of those must go to spam and stuff, but tons of emails. I think the average with direct mail, it's like 400 plus pieces a year. So naturally, you have less coming through, which means you have a better chance of getting seen with direct mail, a better chance of making impact. And when you combine that with digital, which we'll talk about, it's really, really effective.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, all of the stats bring it up. We were going over some stats before the podcast, but get this, up to 90% of direct mail gets opened compared to 20 to 30% of emails, to kind of bring up your example there. 44% of people can recall a brand immediately after seeing a digital ad compared to 75% of people who receive direct mail.
That's crazy.
Direct mail requires 21% less cognitive effort to process than email, and the response rate for direct mail is up like 9 times over that.
Do you know the average response rate for direct mail?
So it's across the board, but like postcards I know are 4.25%.
Okay. A
good direct mail response rate I think is 5%, would be considered a good direct mail response rate, but it still continues to bring one of the largest returns on investment. But one of the things so many people miss when doing direct mail, and one of the reasons why they fail in the direct mail successfulness, is successfulness a word?
Fact check.
Success is sending direct mail to the wrong people.
Yeah.
So that you kind of think like, oh, I can just blast this community, or I can blast this area with my direct mail piece, and you're playing the lottery, and you're not thinking through it strategically, and you're not being laser focused with your direct
marketing.
Mail
is truly only as good as your segmentation of your list, like the targeting of your list. This is why advertising. This is why data is the name of the game right now. Is using data to refine your marketing. So the first thing you want to do with direct mail is you want to think about your list, and you want to think about how do you refine it, because the direct mail that you send should be guided by your list. Perfect example of this is our flagship product is a magazine, right? 48-page coffee table publication, super high quality. And we really see a ton of success with our clients, sending this to their sphere and sending this to their past clients. Why? Because it's perceived as a gift. Because they're spending, a decent amount of money. It's like $3.99. Well, I always tell people it's less than a Hallmark card. But they're spending that, but they're spending it on a really key audience for them because it's going to be their sphere, which is going to generate tons of their business through referrals. But then you think of your prospecting and you want to hone in on your prospecting list, and maybe that list you're going to send maybe a postcard to. You're going to send something a little bit less, but you can still use data like predictive analytics. We actually just released not too long ago, we're using predictive analytics now for our real estate agents to figure out, hey, who on your list that you actually want to send to is most likely to move. Yeah. And then let's actually set up this postcard to target those people to the messaging.
It's a great way not only to, and we're going to talk about the holistic marketing approach, but like the holistic data approach. So predictive analytics, what it's looking at is it's taking the consumer data, what people are doing at a consumer level. So let's take real estate, for example. Are they looking to refinance? Are they doing anything else at the consumer level that would be indicative of them looking to sell or purchase real estate? Then it looks at the property level. So it's looking at the properties and saying, does this mimic any other properties in the area that have recently sold? And then it's looking at the online data. So the actual behavioral data, where if you've gone onto websites or you've interacted with, let's say you filled out a form for a comparative market analysis to see how much your home is worth, all of that data getting shoved into the aggregate and then spit out to give us basically a score that tells us whether or not you may or may not be likely to move within the next 6 to 12 months. And then you can target your direct mail from maybe a list of 10,000 addresses in order to get your entire community to a list of maybe 1,000 to be able to.
Well, this is super popular. Like if you're a dentist, right, and you listen to this, like targeting the people who just moved into the area.
Just moved in, new movers.
Right. So there's so many geographic or demographic information that you can layer over a geographic location to help you refine your targeting. And then that's going to help you refine your messaging overall.
But let's talk about things that like your direct mail campaign has to include. So we kind of broke it down into 3 pieces, which is the content side, the quality side of what you're sending out, and then ultimately what you're trying to get people to do when they receive your piece of direct mail.
The action side, which is the most important.
But so from the content side, making sure that your content's relevant, right? Making sure that you're providing something of value to people. Deals from the perspective of, unless you're a pizza shopper.
What are you talking about? You're talking about promotions like promo?
Yeah. You're really kind of playing the lottery.
I don't hate on promos at all, but it is like lottery. The person has to be at the right time. Now, pizza shops, like the promo, if it's good enough, if the coupon is good enough, people will save it. Right? Especially 100%. For their local pizza shops and stuff like that. So I always break down the content with the 3 E's. I do trainings on this where it's like the 3 E's of content that you should do with your direct mail: educational, entertaining, or endearment, right? So let's do your entertaining first. Your entertaining might be, if you're a real estate agent, you're showcasing the local events that are happening in the community. It might be that you're giving a recipe, right? Educational, this is where you tie back to your actual industry. So maybe in real estate, you're educating people on the mortgage rates that's happening, the value of their home, what they can do to renovate, to get more equity in their home. This is where you could, if you were like a car mechanic or something like that, you could educate on how often you should come in for an oil change. You could put a promo in as the call to action for getting an oil change, that type of stuff. Then endearment, I think a lot of people miss out on this. Endearment, you should be trying to tie yourself to the community. So it doesn't matter what business you're in, you're a local business, and you should be trying to find places that you can essentially partner with, tie yourself to. So maybe it's a local charity. Maybe it's another community business that's in the local area. Maybe it's the school system that you can partner with. But you should be finding things in your community as a local business that you can feature, tag teaming with you in the mailer. And that not only could help you maybe cut costs because they'll help pay for it, but it endears you to that community.
Yeah, the other piece that we would say from a content perspective is really making sure that you're not just touching people in print, but that you're backing that up with digital advertising as well.
Yes.
So you can actually run a Facebook ad to the local community that you are then sending out a direct mail campaign. And we would call this maybe warming up the mailbox. So take the same image that you're going to run on your postcard or your direct mail campaign and run that as a display ad through Google Display Ads or through Facebook. Super simple to set up a radius around an address or within an area to run your Facebook
Or you could
ads.
pixel people, right? So you could literally, like, you send them out a mailer Like I mentioned, my brother did a mailer. I just got $70,000. Basically, his ad was, I can't believe I made $70,000 off of a home I purchased 3 years ago. Want to know what your home's worth? Well, they go to that landing page to find out what their home's worth. They get pixeled, and now we retarget them on Facebook, right, with ads from them actually visiting that site. When you tie, I can't remember the exact stat, but it was like 41%, I want to say, of it will increase your ROI, because marketing is holistic, right? Don't just think about this in display ads, Facebook ads. Also think about this through email. If you hit a neighborhood with a mailer, you should also try to get the emails of everybody in that neighborhood and hit them with an email. Then also hit them on their social. Now they're seeing you everywhere, and the whole concept is mind share. If you can be top of mind, if you're the pizza shop that people think of when they're craving pizza, you're going to get that business. So how do you make sure you're the pizza shop? How do you make sure you're the dentist when they need a dentist? How do you make sure you're the real estate agent? The only way you do that is to be frequently in front of them. There's this old law in marketing called the law of 7. Yep. People have to see you 7 times in order to remember you and in order to start associating your brand with something. And so you need to be everywhere. When you tie digital to direct mail, it just increases your chance of ROI.
Yeah. And then the next thing that you really want to focus on when sitting in your direct mail is you want to be economical, but you don't want to be cheap, right? You really want to make sure that your mail pieces have quality. The average shelf life for direct mail in general is 17 days. Now, I think that varies dramatically over the type of direct mail piece that you're sending out. If you're sending out a postcard, I think we've seen stats to say the average shelf life of a postcard is about 72 hours.
Yep.
Our magazine that we send out, we've done studies on that. The average shelf life for our magazine is 3 to 4 weeks. So people obviously keep that a lot longer. And again, this goes back to your list segmentation and who you're sending the magazine to. Not everyone can send the magazine to 1,000 households, but you can send that magazine to your top 100 contacts within your sphere of influence. And the quality is what is going to make people hang on to it. And even if you're doing postcards, going up to the jumbo postcard, breaking the traditional means of a postcard. I think I saw a stat on the even like the oversized envelopes have almost like a double response rate from a regular envelope because it sticks out. Yeah. People take notice of it. Everybody files their mail over the trash can. You know that whenever you go home tonight, you're going to get your mail, you're going to be pulling out the mail, and you're just going to go right into the trash can. Anything that you have that can stand out and have that person hang on for a little bit longer and delivers on the content that you were talking about so that it gives it that extra shelf life, and that value add is going to make you stand out from the competition.
I was watching Tom Ferry, who we had him on the show. He's the #1 coach in real estate. And someone posed the question to his team, I believe it was, and basically said, hey, do you believe print is dead or still effective? And the answer was, all of my top clients do farming, which is basically, you're blasting out to an area or, demographics and everything like that. But he said, all of my top clients do it. And that was his answer.
Yeah.
So, print is not dead. It's just a long-term game. It's a branding game that you're putting out.
And the last element that we would say you absolutely have to include is a call to action. So you mentioned the idea of being able to pixel somebody and retarget them. You want to make sure that you are getting people to an ascension path, I think we would call it, in digital marketing. If you're bringing someone into your blog, where are you taking them to continue into your funnel? The same thing with your direct mail. You want to bring them online. Try and bring them online. Or if you're not set up with the digital marketing game yet, get them to text you. A simple call to action, if you're in real estate, text me to see how much your home is worth, is a great call to action to get people to reach out and respond to you, rather than look at the pretty piece of mail, not be sure what to do with it, throw it into the trash can, and kind of move on with their life. You might get the mind share part, but you won't get the proactive connection piece that you ultimately want to get with your direct mail.
And I would tell you, take it one step further. You want to give them a call to action so they know what to do, want to make it simple. But with your direct mail campaigns, you should always have a proactive nature to them. So if you're sending the magazine to your core clients, every other magazine, pick up the phone, call your clients, use it as your reason to call. If you're sending postcards to a neighborhood, use that postcard as your reason to pop by in that neighborhood. Use it as a proactive campaign. That's what's going to separate you, because if you can get face-to-face with people, you have so much more impact. If you can have a phone conversation with them, your mailers are just triggering events to help you do that more effectively.
I love that. Not only should you include a call to action, but you should take action and call.
Sounds like our podcast. Take action today, baby.
Speaking of taking action, thank you so much for listening. Take action on some of the ideas that we had in this podcast today. You can also head on over to remindermedia.com/printmedia to get our ebook on a lot more of this research in terms of why print still works, how you can use print effectively, the different types of demographics that print resonates with. So different demographics are going to resonate with different types of print and direct mail. So head on over to remindermedia.com/printmedia for that free ebook. You can also get the recording of this episode. You can see Dakota walking through the shot over at staypaidpodcast.com for the video. To support the show, we'd love it if you subscribe on Apple Podcasts, leave us a review and a comment just to let us know how we're doing, and make sure that you tell a friend about the episode. That's really the best way to help out the podcast. I've got a dad joke. We just went through kind of some weather here. So we're in Pennsylvania, southeast Pennsylvania near Philadelphia. We had a couple snowstorms.
Yes, we did.
So it got me thinking. So I how do you find Will Smith in the snow? You look for the Fresh Prince. Ariel liked that one. I got it. We're going to include the reaction shot for that one. She was actually looking down, focusing on something else, and that got her. If you want to get a hold of me or Luke, you can email us at podcast@remindermedia.com, or you can find us on Instagram. We are at Stay Paid Podcast. For this episode of Stay Paid, I'm Joshua Stike.
Guys, and I'm Luke Acree. And your action item from this is I want you to apply the 3 E's of content, really, for creating your next mailer. And that's education, entertainment, or endearment. Look at your content and ask yourself, is it educating? Is it entertaining? Does it endear me to the community? It needs to fit one of those criterias. And think about it. You can apply those 3 E's of content to your social. You can apply that to your email. That can really fit even greater than print. Remember this, the difference between the top producers and the mediocre producers in every single industry is top producers take action. Take action on that today.